Hi friends, this is Peggy Noe from PrettyPaperCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today to show you how to make the little treat boxes from the little treat box dies in the August to December Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog for 2020. And these dies are shown on page 70 of the catalog. Here's a picture of the dies, and here is something you can make, a little treat box. Here are some other little samples, so you can find those on page 70 of the mini catalog. And today we're going to be using the really pretty Trimming the Town Designer Series paper. These three little treat boxes have been made from that Designer Series paper, and I just think it's so cute that I decided we'd use it for today. So let's get started. First of all, I'll show you what the dies look like in person. Here are the dies. These are all the ones you get with this one, which is the main die that makes the little treat boxes. And it fits on a 6-inch by 7.5-inch piece of paper. I'm using, like I mentioned, Designer Series paper, which is a little bit thinner and easier to cut. And then these are all the fun little goodies that you can put on your treat box. And it has a wedding ring, which you saw in the catalog was cut out of gold foil. A little spider, it's kind of a seasonal thing. Spider for Halloween, all seasons long, Christmas ornaments, and some little tags, and this scallop circle, stitch circle that we're going to use today. So I'll pull those two dies off. And here is our main piece of Designer Series paper that we're going to use to create our treat box today. I'm going to get out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, which will, you can see my little reflection there from my little light. This is what I'm going to use to cut my paper, to cut the box out. And so I just lay it there on a cutting plate, one of the cutting plates. And as I mentioned, mark that down. 6 inches by 7.5 is the size of paper that you'll need. Then I put my other cutting plate right over the top there. And now we're going to run it through the machine. Makes a little click when it does the cutting. And here we go. Here is our box that's been all cut out, and it is very neat. I'm going to show you what a great die it is, because it puts in the score lines as well as cuts the top and bottom, or both ends, with the pretty little scalloped half circle edges, and it puts a little niche there for putting a ribbon through. It's really a great die. So I'm going to fold along the score lines, and then we'll burnish them. And there is a really cute little surprise about this box. It does the cutest, it makes a little mini inside box, and I'll show you here as soon as we get this done. I'm just going to fold on the fold lines first of all to get the folds in place, and then we'll burnish. So let's just get started. Use your bone folder to burnish those lines, those scored lines, and that way your project will come out nice and crisp, and it'll look better. Now let me see, I'm having a little trouble with that, seeing that particular score line. So it's going to be, there it is. Sometimes on the Designer Series paper it's a little bit hard to see, but this beautiful paper is what makes the real difference. So I think we've got it pretty well scored. Let me see, I think I have to do that one. Alrighty, now we're ready to show you the most fun thing I discovered about this die is that it makes a mini box on the inside, and then you pull the edges up. Isn't that just cute? So it keeps your treats on the inside. And what I'm going to do to keep the mini box on the inside secure is I'm going to put just a few dots of my multi-purpose glue whoops, that's kind of a bit, right in there. And this is another neat thing that this die does, is that it has cut the notches, and the notch is right there where you slide that little tab in. And so we're going to bring the tab up and put it right into that little notch there. Hopefully you can see that. Let me fold that back so we can really see it clearly. There's the hole, and we're just going to put our little tab right in there. And because I had a little glue on it, it should set up pretty quickly. And now we're going to do the other one on the other side. Here's our little slit where we're going to put the tab in. Here's the tab. Put a few dots of glue on there, and then slide the tab in and press from the inside. And there's that little small box that holds your treats. And I think that's really important when giving a treat box, is that the treats stay inside, right? So now all we do is pull this up and tie it together, and we're going to decorate the outside. So first of all, I think we'll decorate before we tie. So the way we're going to decorate is we're going to cut a piece of Whisper White cardstock with this cute little scallop circle that I showed you. It's a really cute little die. And I'm getting out some Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to pull up the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine again. And there are a little few crumbs on there left from cutting the treat box, but that isn't going to bother us. We're just going to put our scallop circle right on there and run that through the die cutting machine and cut that. And then we're going to do a couple of other things to make it cute. So here we go. Get rid of my machine there. And here's our cute little circle. Isn't that darling? Now I'm going to stamp it just to give a little, we've got to do some stamping, right? So I'm going to stamp it with a little mini tree stamp from the Warm Hugs stamp set. And I really like this stamp set because it has lots of things, candy canes, trees, hearts, stars, all kinds of fun things. So I'm just going to use a little real red ink here on my tree, and we're just going to put the tree, let me get the right side there, right at the top. So we're just going to put that tree on there, and that's going to start the decorating. Now, the one reason I wanted to use the DSP that we're using, which is the Trimming the Town, is because one of the sheets is an entire sheet, I'll show it to you, of holiday sentiments. And they're in several different languages, but there are quite a few they're in both script and capital printing. And I have been really enjoying cutting out the sentiment for my treat box from this paper. It's easy, it's like a no-brainer, it's pre-made for you. So I'm going to cut out this one that says Season's Greetings, and then we will have this to put right on that little circle. There we go. We'll just cut that out with the paper snips. That's what we call our scissors in Stampin' Up, paper snips. And I'm just going to glue this little Season's Greetings right on there. I mean, this could not be easier. So let's put a little bit of glue on it, just a tiny bit. And we'll lay this down evenly over our tree, or under our tree rather, over the circle. And there we have it. Now we can put that on the front of our treat box, just like this. All right, let's tie up the treat box now while we wait for that glue to set a bit. And I'm going to use real red stitched grosgrain ribbon. It looks so pretty for the holidays. And it's from the Playful Pets combo pack of ribbon in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. And I'm just going to slide a bit of that right through these holes that were already made by the die. Like I said, it's so easy. Now, of course, if I were really doing it, I would fill it with my candy, but I didn't bring any candy today. So, the reason I'm also doing an easy bow is so that the recipient can untie the little box really easily and it stays intact. You know, we could do some other things where you'd have to maybe cut it open, but we're not going to do that. We want it to be easy for our the person we give it to just open that right up. So we're going to tie our little bow, get it turned the way it wants to go. That's one thing about bow tying. You kind of have to go by the way it wants to go, and that makes it turn out better. There we are. Doesn't that make just the cutest bow for the holidays? I just really love this ribbon. Now let's pull it a little more, and then we'll trim the tails. There we go. Isn't that really cute? And we'll just trim these little tails. And then we're just going to put on our little circle. And for this, I'm going to use a Stampin' Dimensional to raise it up just a little bit. And just one dimensional actually does the trick. You don't need more than one. And we're just going to press it on right there in the center of our little box. Whoops. And we need to add a little bit of bling to that box. So we are going to add just one little red rhinestone. That's all we need. One little tiny red rhinestone. We could add it at the top of the tree or over to the side. I think I'm going to go for the top of the tree. And I can just put my fingers in there behind so I can get it adhered really well where I want it. Press that down. Isn't that adorable? So that's your little treat box dies, and I'll show you some more. Bring back in some of the others that I made earlier. This is an adorable die set. You can make these up super quick for gifts and for the holidays. I'm thinking Halloween and Thanksgiving. I'm going to be making some more for those occasions. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. And if you like it, if you would shop at my online store, prettypapercards.com/shop. And if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. Okay, thank you. See you next time. Bye-bye.